All right. Thank you. So, what we are doing, we are going through what we discussed last week. Just to remind you, isn't it? But also for the benefit of others who might have missed. All right. So, it was writing magazine. We described that a magazine is a publication that is issued periodically. Okay. We should expect you that to write that one. And it generally contains essays. These are stories which are based on maybe only one theme. These are essays, stories. These are stories. I think it's stories. You tell a story, isn't it? But not an opinion, but something that's based on what you have done as interviews. Okay. Then poems. If you haven't, it's now that's literary writing. Poem is not a journalism, but it also appears in the magazine. The poems also appear in newspapers. Poems. No, poems gonna appear in the magazines. Not just magazine for poems, but there's just a section for poems. Yes. Then articles. Okay, so articles and stories, they're not different, of course. But okay. So an article, then fiction, you can tell a story about relationship between a hyena and the karoo the hare. Do you think those things can be in a relationship? Why? Huh? A hyena. A hyena and the karoo the hare. Karoo, a hyena. Can they be friends? Why? Who is violent? What? Okay. So they wouldn't be friends. It's fiction. Then recipes. You like cooking? Okay. So bring a recipe next week, Wednesday. I want you to see it so we can write the story. So recite or recipe. Then images. It is magazines are directed general and special audience. Sometimes they can be specially tweaked or not tweaked as well. Tailored. Magazine for children, for girls, women, farmers. Okay. And they can be published, they're published weekly, monthly basis. In Malawi, even monthly basis is too much. Like the Pride magazine, it comes maybe twice a year. Or when there's something which is big. Okay, but it can be weekly, monthly, it can be quarterly. When we say quarterly, what do we mean? When we say magazines coming out quarterly? Okay, what do you understand by quarterly yourself? We say this magazine is coming quarterly, twice a year. What does quarter mean? After 6 months. After 3 months. It's after 3 months. Yes. So 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 1. No, one. It's 3 months, isn't it? So how many 3 months are there in a year? 4. It's 4. 4 times 3 is equal to 12, isn't it? Yeah. Every after 3 months. Every after 3 months. It's a quarter. Some come year. But every after 6 months, we call it biannual. Okay? Biannual. Bi-weekly, it means every after midweek. Yes? All right. And what about the characteristics of a magazine? We did discuss that. What are these characteristics of a magazine? Magazines provide in-depth reading, analysis of topics, and report the findings of research. So it's very detailed. Um, there are also general articles, interest stories there. But when you're also thinking of characteristics of a magazine, you're thinking in terms of size and appearance. So the size of a magazine, a newspaper you can fold in the hands. Magazine, can you fold a magazine? It's very thick. And how does it appear? It appears attractive. The content is mixed bag. Can be anything. Okay. And for style, when we say magazine, what are we looking at when we say style? For style, it is magazines have less stuff, lesser stuff, okay? The magazine writer has more freedom to express or has more room for subjectivity. She or he has the tenacity and freedom to express things in a creative manner. So there's a lot of creativity kind of writing. This is as opposed to a newspaper. So when you be making your arguments here, you please always remember to compare with newspaper. There's another thing is the content. Newspaper deal with reports clear, but for magazines, magazines are not sources of fresh content. No. These are the things which you already know, but we are trying to spice them up. It's like hotel kucha. Nyama yadzo na tsala, mkuku yatsana and the like. Do they throw that? They're simply spiced. It looks nice. Or mpunga or tsala. Do you think those people can throw rice in a hotel? They know how to keep it so that. Or our friend here, when she's selling samosa katsala, umakatae? Hey, do you go and throw the samosa? What do you do? No, katsala one, what do you do? Can't you sell the following day? Don't you keep it well somewhere? Yes, maybe in the fridge, or somewhere. But she can't keep it for 1 week or one piece of samosa, of course, not, Maka time limit. Just as features in the magazine, they cannot stay 2 years. But they'll make it as fresh as possible. Okay? So the magazine tends to have a book type. While newspaper, it's spread arms like that. That's size and appearance. You need to know those differences. We also have design and layout. That's about, for magazine, they use a lot of colors. Different types and sizes of font. They change. Why newspapers, the same font throughout. And magazine break up the articles with good margins so that it's designed. Target audience for magazines. What I'm trying to do here, I'm just mentioning magazine. You should also know the other side of newspaper. For magazine, it has a varied target audience. Newspaper target audience is determined by its geography, but for news magazine, it's about the demographics, okay, physical characteristics of individuals such as race. This India okay, maybe education, okay. So it is determined by demographics and interests. Demographics means what do you race, sex yake, female, male, okay, education yake, interest, all those things. Where newspaper is determined by geography and its focus is broad. Hii distribution yacho is within central region, this and that. Okay. So readability, magazines employ colorful language so as to make the content enjoyable. Okay? Not in the newspaper, you just write straight to the point. It's a matter of fact style. Okay? And then advertisement, you want to advertise in a magazine. Newspapers, magazines are more advertiser driven than newspapers. That means most of the magazines, if an advertiser can give you an advert and that's ask you to write a story about them. Sina akupa advert mundembe story. But newspapers are driven more by readership. Whether newspaper, more now, eh? So that is how it is. So advertising giants know this and place the ads exactly in proper alignment with the stories. So they know the story, the process advert. What about visual strength? In magazine, they can use color, or the writers use color, background. Remember story yake, color may be pink, so writing on top, on pink, yes? Maybe you're writing a story about the baby shower. Baby shower goes with pink, eh? They were telling about ta. Baby shower story. Let's say a celebrity has a baby, so wants an advert, but also writes a story. Visual strength of magazine is enhanced with the effective use of color in magazines. So in magazines, when use color background, that's this. Shelf life, for shelf life, magazines stay longer. Magazines stay longer on the shelf than newspaper. Newspaper is read only once, unless you want something historical. Otherwise, newspaper, okay? Magazines have also advertisements taking up large amounts of page space to balance the cost of production. Yeah. So because it's expensive, then make sure they get a lot of money from advertisers to meet production costs, printing, pay salaries, and all those things. Okay. So that was about the characteristics of magazine. And then basics of magazine writing. It is the variety. You can write anything. So we have agreed that Tia is bringing food recipes next week for 9 people. You too, eh? For learning. After learning, we'll eat. We'll have a party here. We don't pay you anything. Okay? Bring here samosa. It's my big deal. And you, maybe rice and some chicken. Chicken for 8 people. And we'll write a story about that. Then tell us how you prepared it. The how to do feature, right? Yes. Yes. The how to do feature. So you can explain how you prepare samosa, for example. Eh? So she can tell us samosa you how she does it. That's how to do feature, eh? Or you see fatigue, feeling tired a little bit. Okay. So in magazine there is creative flair. Eh? Creative flair. FLAIR. Ulemba kwa sangata, creative flair. And innovative skills. And literary styles. Okay. Whatever the type of publication a journalist writes for, the best approach is same. Write for your readers, of course. Carl, sorry. So, when you're writing, the most important among them can be summarized for when you're writing. Guidelines of magazine writer should be 1. There are 9 here. Know the publication's editorial policy to achieve your direction. Promote a vibrant style. Keep materials and sentences short. Tia, Chonde, go and write short sentences. Right? Make sure that every sentence has a subject, a verb, and an object. The rest can add. You can qualify or modify a noun, or modify an adjective or an adverb. Sadly, nobody came for English on Wednesday for this class, but you were busy, no problem. We'll be arranging that. We want to improve our English. Many of us fail English because we say we know it. The English we speak, we hear from colleagues, it's not enough to make us strong writers. We need to read deeper English. Okay, so promote a vibrant style. Keep materials sentences short and repeat that one. Spend considerable time thinking about fresh ways to approach the subject. No. Be accurate and readable. Make sure as many whatever edit your work. What is meaning? Is somebody going to understand this? Always prefer the concrete to the abstract. Give examples. You run a long distance equivalent of a main football pitch ground, main football pitch. Right? Somebody has an idea, has seen that one. Know what you want to say and achieve. Know whom you are writing for, their interests and concerns. Okay. So, how do you structure your magazine? Okay. So you have your articles, we have your agenda. You'd not use the inverted pyramid style for news by scattering important points throughout the article. First, tell a story. Okay. So when we say tell a story, what do we mean? The beginning, the middle, the ending. So there must be, tell a story, there must be beginning, middle, ending, and extra credit. Okay. The important thing to remember is that you are telling a story. You're not trying to speak English or what. You're telling a story. Carl, quick recovery. Okay. So you're telling stories to who? Who are you telling stories to? Okay, exactly. So that means you need a beginning, a middle, and an end. It also means that you need to think about where you are taking your reader and create a logical path to that end point. Read yourself and say, do I understand what I'm writing? I'm writing here. Or somebody, the beginning. So to get people to read your article, you need to find a way to grab them and arrest them. After the police arrest, you attract them and they stay there. For example, you can begin an article with a quote or an anecdote from a person's life. However, you can also set the scene or use anything that will attract the reader's attention. Anything. Okay? And then what is in the middle? So from the beginning to the middle, there are what we call bridges or transition. Yes? Nanga tiri mkalasi panopa ndiko ikaro ali rubunda aenda bwanji. Okay, so there must be the transition from one paragraph to another. So the most magazine articles, you talk to person or people, to a person. People like reading about other people. Or if your interviewee says something good, use a quote rather than the reported speech. This makes your magazine article more interesting. So write about people. Try as much as possible to write about people, not about things. Make sure that you relate things to people. Okay. The ending, final end with a bang. Boom. This will be in the form of an important point or a revelation or another anecdote or quote. The idea is to satisfy your reader and to get that reader interested in your other writings. Because that most next time that person will read again. They will be used. So you'll be attracting a larger audience. The idea is we write to attract people so they can read for us and so we are relevant. Nothing pains when you write something and nobody comments. Nobody reads. That's why people take their time to go and post something on Facebook just to ask, looking for likes. Because they want the compliment, eh? You can do an extract credit. When you do research for an article, you often have information left over that didn't make it into the main piece. Not get rid of this. Use it to create sidebar or table. Okay. But the information ya mbili ndio ina ya tsala, right? You can write a small piece pambali. Madam Cashier, you can check your manga later, eh? Wait. Again? Okay, fine. Give that somebody. We continue. Magazine writing styles. About so for style ya good. For magazine. Aya isa in the bank. I will remind you that that day you put on a pink t-shirt. That we did this. Okay. So magazine writing styles, let us now discuss this. This number one, narrative writing. Okay? So when we say narrative writing, from narrative writing, eh? No, writing styles. So narrative writing, we also have serialized writing, serialized narrative writing, descriptive writing, persuasive writing, imaginative writing, multiple inverted pyramid writing. Let's look at each of these. So when we say, unfortunately, that thing doesn't work, eh? It's not even there. So narrative writing is a type of writing which the author places himself as the character and leads you to the story. Here's a narrative story. Here's a narrative. A story or event. Yes. Okay. So a story or event is told through characters and dialogues. So you maybe people are discussing, Yeah. But these people are discussing, the one who's making those people discuss is you, isn't it? Yeah. In the story. So narrative writing has definite and logical beginnings. Okay. Definite and logical beginnings, intervals and endings. Okay. So there are so many literary quotes that are taken from the people, direct quotes. That's to provide deeper meaning for the reader. Okay. So literary techniques include there must be metaphors, personification, similes. These are comparisons, As white as what? Ikakoa. What is ikakoa in English? Eh. Oh no. You can be arrested for that. Ikakoa can be kongwa. That bird with a long neck, isn't it? It's white, eh? Is that white? Huh? Is that grey? Carl, what do you think? Is it a grey? It's white, isn't it? People don't eat, but some eat along the leg. Imagery, hyperbole, alliteration, backstory, flashback. So somebody will say, discuss the following terms: metaphor, simile, personification, imagery, hyperbole, alliteration, backstory, flashback, flash forward, foreshadowing.